I wasn't meant to hear it. That's the part that still matters to me. The apartment was loud that night, music drifting from the living room, laughter spilling out onto the balcony. I had come home earlier than usual, and paused in the hallway to take off my shoes. That pause is what did it. Her voice cut through the noise, loose and unguarded in a way I hadn't heard in years. He's too stupid to realize I've been cheating for years. There was a beat, then laughter, sharp, collective, unrestrained. Glasses clinked. Someone whistled. Someone else said my name like it was a punchline. I stood there longer than I should have. Long enough to understand there was no misunderstanding. Long enough to realize that whatever I felt next would decide the rest of my life. I didn't walk in. I didn't announce myself. I didn't give her the satisfaction of seeing my face rearrange itself in real time. I turned around, stepped back into the stairwell, and sat on the concrete steps until the noise dulled into something, distant and manageable. My chest wasn't on fire. There was no cinematic collapse, just a cold, settling awareness, like discovering a fracture after the adrenaline wears off. For the next few weeks, I said nothing. Not because I was planning something. I wasn't that clever in those days. I stayed silent because once something breaks that completely, language feels inadequate. I watched her more closely, not with suspicion, but with a strange anthropological curiosity. The casual lies, the effortless way she spoke about loyalty, the confidence with which she occupied space, secure in the belief that I was harmless. At work, things moved forward without me noticing at first. A compliance review I'd helped initiate months earlier began escalating. I worked in finance, not in a position of power, but close enough to process to know when something had weight. Her company was a client-adjacent vendor. Her name appeared on a list. Then her department. I didn't add it. I didn't flag it. I didn't accelerate it. I also didn't interfere. That distinction matters. When the formal notices went out, the shift was immediate. Her evenings changed. The phone calls grew tense. She started coming home later, then not at all. One night she didn't come home. The next morning I packed a small bag, not hers, mine, and left it by the door. 3 days later she knocked. She looked smaller than I remembered. Not physically, emotionally. Her confidence had collapsed inward, folding into itself. Her eyes were red. Her voice shook when she said my name, like she was testing whether it still belonged to her. "They're investigating everything," she said. "I don't understand how this is happening." I opened the door wider, enough to let the silence between us breathe. She stepped inside cautiously, as if the apartment itself might reject her. "I need help," she said. "I need time. I didn't know where else to go." I listened. Not because I owed her anything, but because listening felt like the final courtesy. I could offer without betraying myself. When she finished, I told her I knew. Not about the investigation, about the laughter, the sentence, the way her friends had roared like it was nothing. Her face drained of color. She opened her mouth, closed it, then sat down as if her legs had made the decision for her. "I heard you," I said calmly. "That night." She cried then. Not theatrically, not strategically, just a quiet, breaking sound, like air leaking out of something overinflated. "I didn't think you'd ever find out," she said. "That was the problem," I replied. She reached for my hand. I didn't pull away. I also didn't respond. "I can fix this," she said. "Please, I need you right now." I shook my head. Not in anger, in clarity. "I'm not doing anything to you," I said. "And I'm not protecting you from what's happening. I'm just stepping aside." The authority in that moment wasn't mine. It didn't come from dominance or revenge. It came from institutions, processes, consequences that had nothing to do with my pain and everything to do with her choices. She stayed on the couch that night. I slept in the bedroom. In the morning, I handed her the bag by the door. "You'll need to find somewhere else," I said. She nodded. There was no argument left in her. After she left, the apartment felt quieter than it ever had. Not empty, just honest. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel healed. What I felt was intact. People assume dignity looks like strength. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Like choosing not to scream when silence will do. Like letting consequences arrive on their own schedule. I still hear that laughter sometimes in memory, but it no longer defines me. It belongs to a version of myself who didn't yet know his own weight. Now I do.